You're probably wondering which one of us is Lonnie Lee. No?
It's this one.
Oh, well. We're going to bring Lonnie on a minute. We just had to warm you up there with that rock and roll song.
I'm Bill Harley.
Bill Harley. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Lonnie Lee.
Welcome to the roots of Australian rock. Here we give tribute to my peers, the guys who were around at the same time as when I started, the guys who were on Bandstand, 6 o'clock rock and all the different shows. Up to 1956 there was no rock and roll at all here. The only dances around were like 60-40 dances or ballroom dancing. And then a movie came called Black Boy Jungle. Once that came, that started the whole thing happening because we heard the song Rock Around the Clock, which the guys are playing now. And that started the whole thing. All of us, in fact, well, quite a few of us decided to, let's get little bands together and see what we can do because we just love that music. And we love the dancing and all that, so we started dances. And there were a few guys around at the time. One of the first bands was Alan Dale and the House Rockers. And then there was a guy called Ricky Millen and the Brothers. I had a little rockabilly band. And there was Kevin Jacobson and his trio, well, later on his quintet. But there was one particular guy who was from Nova Heights. This guy got a band together, they called themselves the DJs. What was his name? Johnny O'Keefe. He recorded a song that was written by Bill Haley, and he became the first Australian ever to record it. And this is that song. 1, 2, 3, 4. before. You wouldn't let me kiss you with your front door. And every time I hold your hand, it never seems to work out the way that I planned. Don't really go, what's my situation? Don't see me go, why can't you see that I know how to go? I wanna drop your love. Everywhere, and every time I get the chance, it never seems to work out the way that I'm planning. Don't really go, why can't you see that I know? Why can't you see that I know? I wanna know that sweet talk about love. And a little bit later on, here we go with this one. 1, 2, 3, go! Tell me, darling, will you be mine? I really love that shit. I really love it. I know I'm gonna tell her that I really love her. I love her, never let her go. Never let her go. 'Cause she's so good. That's why I love her. Oh yeah, she was a tough chick. She came from out of Rudy Hill. I think she was with a Ouija. Oh yeah, really tough. So tough. Well, one of those bands, the Kevin Jacobson Trio, they were from East Hills, and he decided to bring his brother, well, both brothers in, one playing the bass and the other one singing. And they changed their name and they became called Joy and the Joy Boys. Remember that? And at his dances, he had lots of dances all around the place, especially in the western suburbs. And one of the songs that he used to do, one of his favorites at all the dance halls, was this one. The night was clear and the moon was yellow and the leaves came tumbling down. I'm standing on the corner when I heard my bulldog bark. They were standing in the corner, they were Stagger Lee and Billy, two men who gave away. Rockabilly, oh please don't take my life. I got 3 little children and a very, very sickly wife. My shangly, shiny Billy, oh he shot that over your back. That's a point went through me and it broke the heart. Change the glass. He started recording in one of his first big hits. In fact, the first big hit he had, that he had. No, it wasn't. It was the second hit. The first one was Bye Bye Baby, and this was the second one. Big hit. If you want to be happy, come along with me. Oh yeah. I wanna hold you close and make the dance with me. Oh yeah. We take a vacation, go away to stay. We know the world will be nothing but play. Walk down to the river to a baby note, making love like they do in the story. Well, I wouldn't tell a story, so I wouldn't lie. Oh yeah. You're gonna love me to me, baby, till the day I die. Oh yeah. Well, I was an apprentice butcher over in Malabar, and his manager, one day came up to the manager of the butcher shop, came up and said, listen, you sing a little bit, this rock and roll sort of stuff seems to be coming in. Why don't you start a band and we'll see what we can do. I'll manage you. You know, I manage the shop well. And he said, yeah, okay, that sounds a good idea. So we got a little band together. They called themselves the Rebels. And he called himself Johnny Reb. And they took this one right to the top. Hey, 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 sure. Open up your chair. We got a full posse. And get on the train. Hey, 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 sure. Gotta take a bath. With some dirty honesty. Done stole my tail, stole my tail, stole my tail. The thief was a handsome cowboy in a cut-down opera car. I could tell he was a lady killer by the notches on his guitar. I reached for my ukulele, but the stranger was too quick. He sung his song, stole my cow before I could reach my hey, 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 shit. Open up the chair. We got a form of posse. And get on the train. Hey, 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 shit. It gotta be about to some dirty honesty. Done stole my tail, stole my tail, stole my tail. Well, unfortunately, we have to announce, and maybe some of you already know, that just last week, Johnny Reb passed away. He was 79 and he had emphysema for quite some time, and he got to the point where Saturday he couldn't breathe. They went to the hospital, and unfortunately everything started breaking down, and he was taken off life support on Saturday. It's a great shame because he was one of the true pioneers. He had lots and lots of songs. That's just one of them. That was the first big one. But he went to America and he did some stuff in America on the labels that Buddy Holly recorded for, and he was a really nice guy. He was named the gentleman of rock and roll because he always wore a suit and a tie and always looked really, really nice and clean. And he was a gentleman of rock and roll right up until the last thing. We all saw him just quite recently, and we knew that he wasn't well, but we didn't expect this to be so soon. But unfortunately, rest in peace, dear Johnny Rip. And in honor of that, I want to do that song again for you. Hey, 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 Sheriff, open up the jail. We got a former posse, and we're on the trail. Hey, 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 Sheriff, you gotta be around. There's some dirty horse thief done stole my girl, stole my girl, stole my girl. The beast was a handsome cowboy in a hot rod car. I could tell he was a lady killer by the notches on his guitar. I reached for my ukulele, but the stranger was too quick. He sung his song and stole my gal before I could reach out. Hey, 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 Sheriff, open up the jail. You got a former posse and get off the trail. Hey, 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 Sheriff, you gotta be around. There's some dirty horse thief done stole my gal, stole my gal, stole my gal. You know, in America they had lots and lots of groups because of the gospel singing and all the different different types of church singing over there, and barbershop quartets and all that stuff. They were very, very used to having lots of guys sing together. And out here we really didn't at all. It really wasn't until I guess the television rock and roll came through and 6 o'clock rock, and they needed backup singers for us guys and the records we made. So the different guys got together, and there were the Graduates and the Flanagans, who then called themselves the Fawns. There were the Crescents and the Sapphires. But one particular group really stood out, and they were from Bronte. And they used to rehearse in the toilets in the Bronte Surf Club. And I'm not sure when they were using them, I think when they were just rehearsing. And anyway, a guy called Noel Weidenberg, unfortunately, he passed away also many, many years ago. He started it, and he got this big, tall, lanky dude out of deep voice, because we all know Pee Wee now. And there was Brian Warren, and they were the first and the major Deltones. And they had lots and lots and lots of hits, including this one here, which is one of the ones that we love. Come a little bit closer, and you will see. We've been for you, dear, and you will never be ever stronger as the years go by. Let love last longer, the stars in the sky. A daffodil can fade to die. A flowing river sometimes runs dry. The sky is blue and turn to gray, but my love for you is here to stay. Come a little bit closer, and you'll see, yeah, you'll see. I was meant for you, dear. you will never be a little stronger as you go by. Little love was stronger than God in the sky. There were lots and lots of different people got up and were doing everything and became very, very famous too. No doubt about it. People like Booker Hyland. Remember Booker? Yes. Booker Hyland and Kevin Todd, and of course Laurel Lee and Paul Wayne. And there were just so many of these guys around the place. There was one guy that even called himself Star. Lucky Star! Lucky Star. Lucky Star, of course. Well, you know, Lucky, he had one really, really big record. It was just a monster record. It was taken overseas, but unfortunately, Hank Snow over there, who was a very, very big country music star, they changed it all around and put American words to it, and he took it up the top, and it went triple gold and platinum and all that stuff, but unfortunately, Lucky didn't collect on that at all. But he had a monster record here. But I'm not going to even attempt to do that one. There was one particular song that he used to do, not all the time that he went on television, but certainly some of the time. This was a great Roy Orbison classic. Hey now, you better listen to me, every one of you. We got a lot of work to do. Forget about your woman, I got what it came. That he went working for us, man. I got my man on time. I got my door light on my elbow back. I want to see everybody behind. Yeah, I'm working for the man. Working for the man. Gonna make my hand. Working for the man. Well, I'm picking them up and laying them down. Believe me, it's gonna work you to the ground. I go to the left, I go to the right. I wanna kill him, but it wouldn't be right. Yeah, I'm working for the man. Working for the man. Gonna make my hand. Working for the man. So I slave all day without much pay, 'cause I'm just about my time. But the company and the dollar you see, it's all gonna be your mind. Yeah, I'm gonna be the man. Gonna be the man. Gonna be the man. Gonna be the man. Working for the man. Working for the man. Well, over in New Zealand, while we were doing our thing over here, over in New Zealand, things were happening over there too. There was one really main guy, and he really captured everybody's heart over there. He toured backwards and forwards and over again. He was looked upon as New Zealand's Elvis Presley. And he sang lots and lots of Elvis songs and recorded lots of Elvis songs. And even though Elvis's records were on sale and went right to the top, many of the songs that Johnny did that Elvis recorded also got to the top as well. So he's really, really popular. He came over here in 1959 and he's been over here ever since. But this is the one of the songs that he took to the top over there in New Zealand, a great old Elvis classic.
Just
then later on he started writing lots and lots of songs for different people, Little Patty and Jay Justin and the Denvermen and all these different people, Dee Ravel. But he also recorded many of them himself. And this is one of the songs that he took to the top that he wrote. Oh, mercy. Well, I'm just feeling sorry when I took her hand. We sat on the sofa just the two of us. A hell of a time and a hell of a time. But she said, it doesn't seem right. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. But she knew it doesn't seem right. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. Turn the lights out, Johnny. She said that to me. But she knew it doesn't seem right. Well, you know, today most of the people that are on the top of the hit parade and you're seeing all over the place are girls. There seems to be more girl singers than guy singers that are up the top up there. It was very, very different back when rock and roll first started. There were hardly any girls at all, just very, very few, maybe one in 20 or 30 guys. And here there was one girl. She was the first girl to ever get on a hit parade here, first Australian girl that is, to get on the hit parade here. And this is the little song that she recorded. It was written by an Australian friend of hers. Barefoot boy, sitting by the roadside. Barefoot boy, when you say hello, with eyes that shine and lips that bring forth wine. Barefoot boy, I love you so. Barefoot boy, I love you. Barefoot boy, I love you so. Won't body do, oh body do, won't body do, until the end of time. I love you so. Then he said a young guy from a place called Dunny Doo. You heard of Dunny Doo? Yes. Okay, it's not like D-U-N-Y, S-D-U-N-D-D-O-O. And it's out there sort of near around Mudgee area. This young guy's father was a policeman and he was stationed there and that's where he was born. And then he was later on taken down to around Narooma on the south coast. And it was close enough to Sydney for this young guy to be able to come to Sydney quite frequently. And when rock and roll started, he came and used to hang around the music stores, J. Stanley Johnson, and the different music stores that were here, meeting different musos and all that sort of stuff. And he met one young guy, a big, tall, red-headed guy, and called John Hayden was his name, and they decided to start a band. So they started this little band and did an audition for Festival Records, and actually got in and started recording for a festival record label called Rex Records. And Rex Records was named after a hotel in King's Cross called the Rex Hotel, which was the very, very big hotel before the Hilton or any other big hotels. That was the major hotel here in Sydney. And so they call it Rex Records, and he recorded quite a few songs. This one here was the first big one he had. That, boy, was it a big one. It was written for him by his brother, and I'm talking about Dig Richards. And this is his big song. I love you each night and day. Say goodbye. I want to love you each night. Let me say I love you each night and day. That was a very, very big hit, and he used to do lots and lots of dances. Unfortunately, we lost him in the 70s, which is a great shame. Also, a very, very nice guy. All these guys were really, really nice guys. You know, none of us had any, there were no altercations between any of them. I can't remember one fight or one really, really big, heavy argument between any of the guys at that time. They were all really nice guys, came from a nice era, I guess. And we were all competitive, but very friendly as well. Okay, there was another guy that used to perform on Bandstand. He was from the North Shore, and big guy, big bulky guy. In fact, they called him the big bad boy of song. And he was on 6 O'Clock Rock and Bandstand, mainly 6 O'Clock Rock a lot. And in 1961, after 6 O'Clock Rock had been going for a couple of years, the ABC decided to run a contest to see who was popular and who wasn't popular. So they knew who to book and who not to book on the show, because they saw this 6 O'Clock Rock going on forever. It had already been going on for nearly a couple of years. Anyway, they ran the public research, and all the stuff came in. And strangely enough, I came first, and then Johnny O'Keefe came second, and which is strange because Jock was the MC. And the third one came in is this guy, the big bad boy of song, Barry Stanton. It's funny how they had different names for different people, you know, the big boy of song and the gentleman of rock and all that sort of stuff. There was another guy who they called the Shy Guy. And he was from Maroubra, around there. He got a little band together about 1958, and they called themselves the Squares. And he was singing around there for quite some time, got onto Lead-On Records, and had quite a few little records. Once again, lovely guy, beautiful guy. He's got a beautiful family too, who are also extremely talented. Warren Williams. Mm-hmm. And this is the big song that Warren Williams took to the top. He loved opera stuff, you know, maybe not full-time big deal opera, but he liked the operatic style of singing, and he certainly had the voice for that. And Festival Records decided to take advantage of his style of voice. I said, why don't we see if we can find a song that's an operatic song, and so we can do it and we can turn it into a pop song. They did, and they got to #1, and this is it. A star fell from heaven one beautiful night, bringing me glimpse of light from the skies above. A star fell from heaven and showed me the way, how to be content and gay, for it brought me love. It whispered to me, you are wonderful, beautiful, heavenly, and you are mine, dear. A star fell from heaven and showed me the way, that you've been waiting for me. How I thank my stars, how I thank my stars, how I thank my stars. He also used to sing lots and lots of the different songs recorded by Buddy Holly and Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and everybody else. And the group brought this one out, and everybody just loved it. All the dances, if you guys went to the dances, y'all look out there so very, very young, so I'm sure you weren't around at the time. But there were lots and lots of different guys, including myself, that we used to sing this song. 2, 3, 4. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands if you can. You got the rhythm in your feet, clap your hands, clap the beat, clap your hands, clap your hands. You can't stop up the rhythm is cold, because the funk is getting old. Now clap your hands right to the dance, take the beat, the dance, clap your hands, clap your hands. Now gather round and listen close. This is the dance that is the most. Oh, face to face, you gotta stand to get the victory from the band. Clap your hands, clap your hands. You got to think you're in the groove. Now got to check and stop the move. This is the best rock and roll. It's in the dance for long, you know. Clap your hands, clap your hands. Now don't go away. This is the way to make a plan. Let's get together once again. And if you ever feel the mood, this is the place I give to you. Clap your hands, clap your hands. Oh, everybody loved that at the dances. Well, I started off in 1956, and before rock and roll, and well, actually rock and roll was just starting, the very, very beginning of it, and it wasn't any television and all that until when I started in radio, as I say, it's top 40s or top anything really. And I went on a show in May 1956 on 2UW. They ran an amateur hour, and I went on there and I came second to an opera singer, a housewife opera singer. And third was a guy who just come back from the war, and he played the spoons. So he came third, I came second, and this opera singer came first. And this was the song that we did. It was a song that had just been released, Elvis's first big international song, and it had just been released. Well, since my baby left me, I've got a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of street, they never would come back. You've been so lonely, you've been so lonely, you could die. Although it's always private, you can still find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry in the gloom. You've been so lonely, you've been so lonely, you could die. You'll be so lonely, you'll be so lonely, you could die. Okay, just gotta, excuse me for a second while I tune this thing up. Here, it's really out of tune. Through all the different eras, because as we've gone through maybe every 5-7 years, there's a whole new era. New young people come up who were too young to enjoy the first stuff, but now they're teenagers and they want their stuff, and then that happens again and again and again. So that's why all the different generations, we all have different styles of music and different people that idols that we like and dislike. But no matter how many of those that we go through, if you're talking about rock and roll, you're talking about an industry, a music industry, and how it all started, you've got to go back right to the very, very beginning, to when we started back there in the mid 50s. And there was no managers, there was no producers, there was no anything. We carved our way through like missionaries through the African forest and to make an industry. And we did, and it's one of the best and biggest in the world now. But the guy who was the top then, he was the king of rock and roll then, and right up until he passed away, he was the king of rock and roll, and we still refer to him as the king of rock and roll. And this is one of his very, very early songs. 1, 2, 3, 4! You got my heart really rocking. You leave my knees a weak and knocking. You put it shaking in my hips. You put your kicks in my hips. Oh, don't ever, you excite me. You got a twinkle in your eye, and a way that you can lie makes me wanna hold you tight. Oh, wanna make you look at nothing. Oh, don't you excite me. Oh, don't you excite me. Johnny O'Keefe. One of the first dances in Sydney was in Newtown, a place called Mawson's Hall, looking down on Newtown Station. And after the dance one night, and John was there with his band of DJs, a couple of the guys were looking down and they saw a couple of the guys down there with the slick back hair, the bodgies. And they were having a little bit of a tussle. And they said, boy, they're pretty wild here tonight, you know. And they got home and they had a few drinks and they decided to write a few songs. They wrote a few songs and came up with one that turned out to be a fantastic label for Johnny O'Keefe. And we all refer to him as this, a real wild child. Well, I'm just out of people like I'm real good. Gotta shake, gotta listen, gotta be alive. baby, I'm a real white guy. Keep it shaking, baby, I'm a real white guy. Baby, I'm a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. I'm gonna bring us, I'm gonna keep it with the wild, I'm gonna keep it with the wild one. Okay, as we go back there, we appreciate the fact that he's the king of rock and roll. This is the song that he made the anthem of rock and roll from Australia. Whoa! Very, very good rehearsal. Now, rehearsals are usually not as good as that, but you've really done well. So this is it, okay? Whoa! 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 Oh yeah! You know you make me want to shout and throw my head, keep my heels up and shout. Now wait a minute, I feel, right. You know you make me want to shout, throw my head, shout, keep my heels up and shout, throw my head, shout, come on now, don't set you without. Now we